talk to a lot of job seekers, and when I ask them about their interview, they usually say to me, "Oh, I think it went well." And they probably do feel that it was good. But feeling it was good and having an effective interview, those are two different things. So, today, what I'm going to do is help you know the difference between a good conversation and really an impactful one. Because nowadays, you hardly get any feedback. So, giving yourself the option to figure out how an interview went, that can give you the data to know if you're doing well or if you need to change some things in how you approach your interviews. Let's face it, most people don't do a lot of interviews in their career. They're doing the work. And then it's only when they're looking for another job that they go into that interview loop. And it's a little different because now you're being evaluated by other people. And because you aren't getting a lot of feedback, you take signs from an interview, a smile from the interviewer, or just friendly conversation. And your body, your mind, you says, well, that's all good. It must have gone well. But having rapport with somebody and having shown that you have the value that they need, those are two different things. So, what I want you to do is go beyond that surface to think about things like, did the energy in the room change? Did you really answer those questions well? Because that is data for you. And that data can help you discover patterns because you don't often get feedback. So, what you can do is if you do a good evaluation of the interview itself, that can be data that can help you actually be better for your next interview. The important thing is this exercise needs to be done within 30 to 60 minutes after your interview ends. Don't wait, not that evening, not the next morning. It has to be immediate because I want you to recall everything that happened in the interview. So, what you need to do is in your car, if it's an in person interview, a cafe, or at your desk at home. What you want to do is wherever you want to take notes, a notebook, your phone, I don't care, but take 10 to 15 minutes to complete this exercise. You will be so glad you did because it will give you a lot of information important for your success. If you find this information helpful, I always appreciate you hitting that like button and go ahead and subscribe to my channel. It's really helpful. There are 6 areas that I want you to capture. And the first one is going to be your state of mind before you even started the interview. It's important to know how you felt going in. Were you calm? Were you confident? Were you a little stressed? Maybe you had a commute that was a little bit longer than you expected and you're running a little bit behind. Maybe you're feeling a little overprepared. So, whatever it is, I want you to capture that in your notebook on your phone. Assess how you felt going in because this will be useful information if we start seeing patterns in terms of how you're approaching those interviews. That can be good information for you, and it could be something that you may need to work on. The second thing is to write down the questions that were asked. Now, this doesn't have to be word for word, but you just want to get the general topic area. I got a question about collaboration, or I got a question about dealing with somebody difficult. You want to know what that is because oftentimes, if you wait, you will forget the questions. And this is really important to see what they're asking you. Now, another part of this is did you answer the question directly or did you drift a little bit? Drifting means you went to someplace a little bit more comfortable than what they were asking. Sometimes because it's a challenging question or you don't know quite how to answer, and you go to someplace that you feel is a bit safe. Interviewers, they will note that. They know when you're drifting. So you want to know if that's what you're doing. You also want to mark if you got a lot of follow up questions on what was asked. Sometimes that can be an indication that you were not very complete in your answer. And so they're wanting to know more information. So write that down as well. It could be good data for you. The third thing you're going to enter is where you stumbled in the interview. It happens. So it's good that we capture what happened. Did you draw blank? Did you ramble? Did you not say what you wanted to say? You need to capture this because this is really good data for you to know where you're having some stress in your interviews. You also want to capture what you really wanted to say. So you have a list there of the points that you really wanted to make that you didn't make. This is a good place to capture this because this will help you go back and start practicing these questions again so you feel more comfortable that you can get out in your interviews what you really want to say. The fourth thing you want to look at is the vibes in the room. You got to read the room. So that is more than they smiled and you had a good conversation. It is also, did they lean in? Did they seem like they were interested the entire time? Did that positivity that you might have gotten at the beginning, did it seem to evaporate towards the end of the interview? Okay, you want to capture all of that because that might indicate where something might have gone wrong or that you were doing something right. The other thing you want to think about is were there things that were not said directly, but you inferred from what that interviewer was asking? Certain problems that they were having or reasons why a previous person did not work out. You want to capture those as well. This is all just data for you to see if there's something happening in the interviews that you can change for next time. The fifth thing you want to capture, that is how you close the interview. It is important and you need to close it strong because the last impression is often the one that follows you. So, did you say you wanted the job? A lot of people don't, but you always should say, if you're interested, that this was a position that would be of interest to you. Did you ask really good questions at the end? And I'm not talking generic questions like, tell me about the culture. I'm talking about specific questions around this role, this boss, this organization that show that you did your research. Those are all things that are really important to make sure that they had a positive experience with you, that they know that you want this role. So, how did you close this interview? Be honest with yourself. If there's things you can improve, write them down. And the sixth thing I want you to do, that's really a gut check for you. After talking to these people, do you really want this job? Because sometimes you come out at an interview and you're like, you know what? It sounds okay, but I'm not really excited about it. And that's okay. But don't fool yourself into wanting a job that you just aren't feeling it. You want to write down your impressions and why you felt that way. What was specific about this role that was talked about that you were kind of like, I don't know about. Another thing I want you to do is really evaluate this interview. There's no perfect interview. So there likely were things that you could have done differently that you might want to do differently for next time. So write those down. Did you ask questions that, are actually too generic? Or when given a question about a challenge, you were not as specific about it as you should be, and you forgot maybe some of the best results of that. Write that down. This is something you can work on for next time to make your interviews more impactful. Doing this after every interview is what distinguishes people that are successful and not. You have to change your mindset that the interview is done when you close that Zoom meeting or Teams meeting or when you walk out the door. No, it is done after you do this exercise. It is important because this is data. You often are not going to get any feedback. So you need to do this exercise to give yourself the feedback. And what happens is, as you're writing this down, you go, yeah, I need to work on that for next time. Or, yeah, I did this really well. I'm really proud of myself. This is good feedback for you. You do this consistently, you'll start seeing patterns, and those patterns can change your behaviors. So it could be, I need to give myself a little bit more time before an interview because I'm going into those interviews very stressed, and that's not helpful. Or I need to be more specific when answering this question. My answers are too generic, and I'm getting a lot of follow up that indicates I'm not giving enough detail. Those are really important pieces of data that you can actually do something with. So try this and see if it helps you. I think it will. and it will improve your interviewing for next time. And that is what gets you the offer. I have a new online interview prep course. It's called Crack the Code. And in just 90 minutes, I will help you be so much better in your interviews. So if you're interested, I have more information in the description box.